Good morning. Happy Wednesday. I'm going to give y'all a moment to get situated on this Wednesday morning. Full of, I don't know, maybe it's the autumn equinox energy. Maybe it's coming out of that full moon. I hope you're feeling it today. I hope you're feeling good. Please say good morning in the comments as you join. Let me know who's hanging out on this Wednesday morning. Hello, Angie Brown. What else? I'm just going to give people another minute, one more minute. Good morning, Miss Cheryl. It was so good to see you on the weekend. You are looking fantastic. Yep. We got this. We got this. Oh, it's McHappy Day today. It is. I remember hearing the ads for that. Okay, so today's the day, my friends, that you get to have guilt-free McDonald's chomping down, because today is McHappy Day. So money raised from, Angie, you might have to help me with this one. You get it from, if you order a Big Mac, you get it, the donation comes from McCafe, I think. I feel like there's something else. What is it, Ange? Anyway, you can also just make a donation if you don't want any of those things. And the money today goes to Ronald McDonald House Charities, which is sort of the partnership charity, obviously, of McDonald's, it being named after Ronald McDonald. And you have an opportunity to help people out. And I always have loved McHappy Day. I used to volunteer at it back in the day. And what I also love is that I've had family who've had to use the Ronald McDonald House when we had a little cousin born very premature. And he is now, kicking butt and taking names at about 11 years old, I think. So, and it's just really cool. So they go to Ronald McDonald House, and it goes to whatever charity that is in the area that the McDonald's chooses, kind of like what Tim Hortons did with Smile Cookie Week. So yeah. McHappy Day on this first day of fall. It is the first day of fall. Now, I will admit, I have been fighting transitioning from summer to fall for the last several weeks, because I think I'm a summer baby. I love the summer. I think our summer went too fast, and so I just didn't want to embrace fall. But now that it is the first official day of fall, I guess I will embrace that in beautiful autumn equinox energy and switch to actually wearing socks again and shoes. And I do love, my favorite thing about fall, outside of the gorgeous, gorgeous turning of trees and the transition that looks like, which I feel is so symbolistic to transition we could feel in our lives. But I also really love fall fashion, because I love sweaters and boots, and anyway. Rob just woke up with Ruby and it's still dark. I know, it's switching so much. Well, and today feels darker because the sunrise was blocked by a huge cloud today. So it didn't feel like we got that blazing, beautiful sunrise that we've got the last few days, but it still looked pretty darn beautiful. Jim, life is full of changes. Yeah, and I think fall shows us that so beautifully, right? It gives us this great visual of that change. And I think what's nice about this time of year is, and we kind of talked about this before, but it's instead of just having New Year's in January, you have many opportunities throughout the year, I think, for resets, whether you want to do it quarterly. September always feels like another January, because kids go back to school and you start that new routine and you kind of switch over some of the things you've been doing. and you get back into a different frame of mind that you usually have over summer. So it feels like a reset time. It feels like an opportunity to kickstart again. So I hope you're feeling that. We had a beautiful harvest full moon on Monday night. It's still lingering, of course, as it still looks quite full, but the energy from that has also been really prolific. And then going into autumn equinox. It's also What the Fuck Wednesday. So if you're feeling like we need to have a conversation where you need to vent a little bit, you can do that too. I mean, we had our federal election on Monday in Canada for our Canada watchers. And you may or may not be happy with the outcome of that election. I think we live in an interesting world, and maybe it's my ignorance with how our government actually functions. So if you feel well versed in this area, please enlighten me, because I admit that I am without full knowledge of how it works. But I just don't understand how a party could get more votes than they've had before, and more votes happen, but they actually get less seats. It's very confusing. It's very confusing and makes no sense to me. It makes you feel like, I don't know about you, makes you feel like you're like, how do I do this? How do I function with this? But maybe you're really happy with that piece. I'm not happy, I guess I would say, but I feel sad when there comes out a minority government, for example, because I feel like we're going to have possibly 4 years, but we've been told, Trudeau said that if he got a minority government, he'd call another election as soon as he could. So I feel like it's a huge waste of money. We spent $680 million or whatever it was to have this election on Monday. And I think it's brutal that in the midst of a pandemic, when we have businesses who are struggling prolifically, when we have businesses who've been given the burden of figuring out whatever vaccine passports or whatever fancy name they want to be given, depending on what province you live in, that we have businesses that are struggling, that we have people who are struggling, that we've got people who are still feeling unsure of what choice they want to make for their own bodies. Or maybe they're really sure and they're feeling the pressure that we can't go anywhere or we can't do anything without this thing, and the division of that, and the complete dickness that is floating over the world in this process is so much bigger than us spending $680 bazillion on an election. It seems ridiculous. It seems ridiculous. So yeah, maybe that's your What the Fuck Wednesday moment. Feel free to share one in the comments if you've got something that's kind of making you crazy this week. Maybe you're just feeling off this week. Maybe you just want to get something off your chest. Maybe you want to celebrate something. This can really be whatever it is. Some What the Fuck Wednesdays, I get a little ranty. Some we are pretty mellow. I'm feeling kind of mellow today. I really am. Is the same gentleman reelected in your riding, Jody? I forget his name. Yes, we've had him on Coffee Club in the past. Our member of parliament for the communities in my area is Mr. John Barlow, and he was reelected by a landslide. I haven't seen all the numbers, but in conversation yesterday, I heard he won with quite a substantial amount of votes. So guess we'll have to have him back on to say hello again in the future. Now we focus on in the province of Alberta, and I'm not sure what it's looking like across the rest of Canada, or Jim, what it looks like in your neck of the woods. I have no idea what local government levels look like in the US, but we have what we call a provincial election coming up, and not provincial. Okay, that's the wrong word. A municipal election coming up. So all of the communities and cities within the province of Alberta have an election coming up October 18th. So this is your councillors and your mayors, your local government level. And in my community, we have 15 people who have put their name forward to step into this role. Okay. Guys, I want to take a minute, and I know that this is really Alberta based, this part of this conversation. So I apologize to those of you who are hanging out from other places, but I just want to take a moment. And if anybody's thinking about this in any other province or state across the country and across North America and in the world, whatever, if you are somebody who has decided to put your hand up, your foot in the ring, you're jumping in to be someone, to be a leader in your community, I applaud you. That's not an easy gig. And it's not an easy gig in the midst of a pandemic. It's not an easy gig in the middle of whatever's going on. Okay, Jim says theirs is coming up in November, same level. So it's a big deal. And so in High River, 15 people stepping up to want to be a part of that makes me feel excited. I'm looking forward to what people have to say. I'm hoping, I mean, there's always the case. And if you're thinking of it in your neck of the woods, whenever that comes for you, don't bring your agendas with you. Nuh-uh. I'm looking forward to seeing what these 15 folks in my community want to bring to the table, what they want to do, how they want to help make my community a better place. And I'm excited for that. I've been watching a little bit of what's going on in the city of Calgary. If we've got any Calgary peeps on today, I think they have 28 people, I feel is the number that I heard last, that are just running for mayor. This doesn't include all their ward councilors or whatever they're called there even. I don't even know the right terminology, but when people run out of agenda or anger, when they bring their 2As, they usually become an asshole. I can say that. I feel that. So I'm hoping that's not going to be the case, but we will hopefully weed that out. But just really, at the end of the day, kudos to those who would like to step into that role, because it's not easy. It's a 4-year commitment, and it takes a lot. It takes a lot. And so I applaud you for stepping into those roles. And I'm excited to see. There's a few names on our list in High River that I'm pretty excited to see there. Some I have no idea who they are, and I look forward to finding out more about that, but could be interesting. Good morning, Kelly. Michael Nychuk, welcome. Michael's one of the people in my community that's stepping up to be re-elected. He did a term and he wants to do another one. Have you been drinking? No, I'm just kidding. We're so glad for you to do that. What else is going on in your world, friends? Tell me about what's going on. Did you catch the conversation with Grant Pollock yesterday? God, that guy is fantastic. I am so excited for that conversation. If you missed it, go back and check out yesterday. He has been really the face and voice of sports in Alberta for the past 3+ decades, and retired about 7 years ago, but sharing some stories from his career. It was fantastic. Fantastic. What else is going on in your world? What do you feel? You feeling happy, sad, confused, mixed emotions? You having a good day, bad day? Looking forward to fall? Darlene says she doesn't want to talk about elections. Yeah, feel like I'm done with election talk. But she's supporting businesses the best way she can, even if she's required to wear a mask and show proof. Be kind, be respectful. Yep. That's really the theme. And I think that comes back to our Don't Be a Dick movement. We have to continue forward with that. We have to continue forward with just being kind to people no matter what. And remembering that people sometimes feel forced into a decision, and they have to do the best they can with the knowledge and abilities that they have. And although we feel like we could be really quick to judge that, or though we feel like, especially if we don't agree, it can be really easy to slip into anger or frustration or whatever that looks like. And so just remembering to check yourself to be kind. And I think for the most part, we want to be that. But when we're feeling a little overwhelmed ourselves, it can be challenging. I agree with you there. Helen, good morning. Kelly says the sunrise this morning was amazing and it makes me smile. Our sunrises and our sunsets are so freaking amazing. So freaking amazing. And I feel like they remind you. I know the last week I was feeling, I think like all of us, we have moments where we feel heavy with what's happening in the world, moments where we're able to kind of disconnect from that a little bit to just connect into what matters to us. But we're fluctuating and we're on this sort of emotional roller coaster. And I know last week it felt like there were some heavy moments, but I took a drive west. We are very blessed in the neck of the woods where I live in, but I think every place on earth has something beautiful about it. So picking that thing and heading towards that. So I drove west last week towards our mountains, and they are honestly the most powerful, energetic things, and they make you feel so good. And I know that as I was driving west and the sun was rising and the sun was hitting those mountains, I had that moment where I was like, you know what? The world is fine. The world is going to be okay. And we got this. But I needed that visual to help through that. So I don't know if you require a visual in some of the things that you're doing of what that looks like and what that could be. And oh, Liz said she had a very faint rainbow on the drive to work. That feels amazing. So Rob says, Meg and I are a little bit upset. They're not knowing what to do or where to go with Ruby. They're getting cabin fever pretty severely. Yeah, it's hard. And maybe, I know it becomes down to what can we also do when we're on a pretty strict budget and what that looks like. And I don't know everybody's situation, but if there's a way, Rob, that you could change the scenery for you guys in a safe way, and maybe that's rent an Airbnb in the mountains or something like that, even for one night, or a hotel, and just change the scenery. Might feel a little daunting to travel with baby for the first time, but maybe something like that feels good. Or maybe that you don't feel safe to leave your premises. And I totally understand too. But if anybody has any ideas with a brand new baby, what a cabin fever couple could do, please post that in the comments, because we're here to help each other out through these pieces. And someone could have a much better idea than I on what that could look like. I know you guys have got lots of nature walks, so you're probably full up with that department. But I found when I've had the most cabin fever feeling, I just had to change the scene. And even if that was an overnight in a hotel or an Airbnb or something, just to look even at different walls, just make it different. I don't know. It'd be fun to do. Maybe you do a home trade with somebody. It could be kind of funny. Anyway, what else is on your mind today? Feel free to share in the comments. I appreciate, as always, our opportunity to come together, have a cup of coffee, have a quick conversation, and check in. There won't be coffee club on Friday of this week. I am really excited. Even though it's virtual, I think it is still going to be amazing. I'm in a 2-day conference for the next couple of days and looking forward to learning some new things, connecting with people online, and having a little bit of fun. Any opportunity that I get to increase some knowledge, learn something, hear other people's stories. I get to hear Guy Kawasaki speak, and I think he is phenomenal and been really revolutionary in the social media world and marketing and those kind of pieces. And I'm really excited to hear this guy talk. I think it's going to be really cool. So no coffee club on Friday, but we will be back on Monday of next week to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Okay, does that make sense? Good morning, Cam. How are you? I feel like you haven't been here for a long time. Thank you for connecting back in. It's good to see you. See your name pop up in the comments. So yeah, in your communities, get to know, have a cup of coffee with, schedule a Zoom, send an email, have a conversation with people that are stepping up to run for your government representation. You have an opportunity to build the team for your community. That's how I like to look at it. When you're voting for your council and mayor, remember that you're building a team. So you want to bring players on that have strengths in a number of areas so you can build the best team to represent your community and keep things going. So think about that. Don't just vote on the people you know. Don't just vote on someone that you like better than somebody else. You are building a team. So build that team. And we have a few weeks to do that. Yeah. I am having a super great day. Happy first day of fall, my friends. Happy Wednesday. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week. I look forward to catching up with you on Monday morning. Cheers to you. Have a good one, and we'll see you soon, everybody. Bye.